I was holding a champagne glass, smiling for photos, when a woman I'd never seen before walked straight up to me. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She handed me an envelope. And inside that envelope was proof that the woman I was about to marry had been living a double life for 6 months. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, if you've ever wondered what justice actually looks like, make sure you like, subscribe, and settle in. Because this story doesn't end the way you think it does. My name is Ethan Hale. I'm 31 years old, a civil engineer from Pennsylvania. I design bridges, things meant to hold weight, last decades, survive pressure. Ironically, I was terrible at seeing the cracks in my own life. 3 months before everything fell apart, I proposed to Melissa Grant. For years together, no major fights, shared routines, shared dreams. She worked in marketing at a tech startup. Charismatic, sharp, the kind of person who could make anyone feel important in under 30 seconds. I proposed at her favorite lakeside park in late September. Golden hour, a rented boat, a hidden photographer, the whole cliché. She cried. I cried. Her mother cried when we told her. At the time, I remember thinking, this is it. This is the moment everything I worked for finally pays off. December 7th, exactly 3 months later. Downtown boutique venue, floor-to-ceiling windows, city lights glowing like something out of a magazine spread, soft amber lighting, acoustic guitar in the corner, 70 people who believed in us. Melissa wore a navy dress that made her look effortless, like she belonged on a billboard. I wore a charcoal suit my brother insisted on. For the first hour, everything was perfect. Laughter, toasts, clinking glasses, my mother pulling me aside to introduce me to relatives I barely remembered. Melissa's friends joking about wedding dress shopping. I felt proud, grounded, lucky. 7:45 p.m. I was standing near the bar talking to my best friend Noah about a work deadline when the front door opened. And that's when everything shifted. A woman walked in who didn't belong there. Late 20s, dark hair pulled tight, jeans, black coat, no smile, no curiosity, just tension. Her hands were shaking. She didn't look around, didn't hesitate. She walked straight toward me. Noah stopped mid-sentence. She stopped about 3 feet away. Ethan? She asked quietly. Yeah. She held out a manila envelope. You need to see this. Before I could ask who she was, before I could react, she pressed the envelope into my hands, turned around, and was gone. Out the door, vanished. My name was written on the front in blue ink. Nothing else. The room felt like it had been muted. Conversations dulled into background noise. The guitar kept playing. Noah leaned in. Who was that? I don't know. I opened the envelope. Inside were screenshots. Dozens of them. Text messages between Melissa and a contact saved under a man's name. They went back months. April, May, June. Explicit, detailed, intimate in ways she'd never been with me. My stomach dropped. Next page. Bank statements. Melissa's name. Charges from a hotel 20 minutes outside the city. Same day every week. Thursdays. Always between noon and 3 p.m. Then photos. Melissa sitting at an outdoor cafe with a man I didn't recognize. His hand covering hers. Her smiling, not politely, genuinely. Timestamp, 2 weeks ago. That Thursday, she told me she was working late. I don't remember breathing. Melissa must have seen my face. She ran over. Ethan, what's wrong? You look. I handed her the papers. She looked down. Her face drained of color. Then red. Then her eyes filled with tears. She opened her mouth. No sound came out. I raised my hand. Not here. Not now. I turned and walked away. She called my name behind me. I didn't stop. Cold December air hit my face like a slap. I walked, got in my car, and drove. I didn't know where. I don't remember the drive. That's the first thing that scared me afterward. I remember my hands on the steering wheel. White knuckles. My jaw clenched so tight my teeth hurt. But the streets? The turns? Gone. It's like my brain shut off everything unnecessary just to survive. I ended up outside Noah's apartment without realizing how I got there. I sat in the car for a full minute before getting out. The engine still running. My chest rising and falling like I'd just sprinted a mile. I didn't cry. That came later. At that moment, I felt hollow. Like someone had scooped out everything inside me and left a shell behind. I slept on Noah's couch that night. Or at least, I tried to. Around 11 p.m., my phone started vibrating non-stop on the coffee table. I didn't even have to look to know who it was. Melissa. Her friends. People who had hugged me earlier that night and told me how lucky she was. I finally glanced at the screen. What did you do? Melissa is a wreck. You humiliated her. You need to come back and fix this. Everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes. That word again. Like she forgot to lock the door. Like she burned dinner. Not 6 months of lies. Not dozens of hotel visits. Not sleeping next to me afterward and kissing me goodnight. I turned my phone off, stared at the ceiling, and for the first time since the party, I felt it. The pain. It wasn't sharp. It was heavy, like something sitting on my chest, pressing down slowly, methodically. Every Thursday replayed in my head. Every time she said she'd be late. Every time she claimed exhaustion. Every time I blamed myself for not being more understanding. I woke up to 43 missed calls. Most from Melissa. Some from her mother. One from my own mom. That one. I answered. She didn't yell. She didn't accuse. She just said, "Ethan, what's going on?" So I told her. I read the texts out loud. Described the photos. She went quiet. Then she whispered, "Oh, honey." That was when I finally broke. I didn't sob. I didn't scream. Tears just slid down my face silently while I stared at the floor. "I need time," I told her. "I know," she said softly. "Take all the time you need." That afternoon, I went back to the apartment Melissa and I shared. I didn't want to see her. So I texted from Noah's phone. "I'm coming by. Please not be there." She replied instantly. "Please, Ethan. Just talk to me." I didn't respond. When I walked in, the apartment felt wrong. Like a stage after the actors leave. She'd left sticky notes everywhere. Bathroom mirror, coffee maker, fridge. "I'm sorry. Please talk to me. I love you." I didn't read them twice. I packed essentials, clothes, laptop, documents, my grandfather's watch. I left my key on the counter with one note of my own. "I need space. Do not contact me." Then I walked out. 5 days later, an unknown number called me. I almost ignored it. Something told me not to. "Ethan." The voice froze me. It was her, the woman from the engagement party. "My name is Claire," she said. I'm really sorry about how I handled things. I just didn't know what else to do." I sat down hard on Noah's couch. She explained everything. The man's name, Jason Reed, Melissa's coworker, creative director at her startup. They'd been seeing each other since June. She'd been cheating before I proposed. Before I asked her father for permission. Before she cried and said yes. Claire found out by accident. Went through his phone. Found months of messages. Confronted him. He promised to end it. Didn't. So she collected proof. And when she saw Melissa post about forever and soulmates online, something snapped. "I couldn't let you marry her blind," she said quietly. I didn't know what to say. So I said the truth. "Thank you." That night, I called Melissa. She answered on the first ring. "Ethan, please." "Jason Reed," I said. Silence. "He works with you. Creative director. Since June." Her breathing changed. "How long have you known?" she whispered. "Does it matter?" "It was a mistake," she said quickly. "It didn't mean anything." I laughed. It sounded foreign. Ugly. "You slept with him while I planned our future." "I love you," she cried. "I want to marry you. You already chose not to." "It's over," she pleaded. I ended it. "No," I said calmly. "You got caught." She sobbed. I hung up. Blocked her number. The pressure campaign. That's when the real manipulation started. Texts from her mother. "People can change. Don't throw away 4 years. She's devastated." Friends cornering me. Co-workers whispering. One of her bridesmaids, Kim, stopped me at a cafe weeks later. I told her not to, she admitted quietly. I saw them together in July. People knew. They always do. They just don't speak up until it's safe. The decision. Something shifted in me after that conversation. Not anger. Clarity. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to win her back. I was going to disappear from her life completely. And let the truth do the damage. I hired a lawyer. Closed the joint account. Documented everything. Blocked every number she tried. And when she realized I wasn't coming back. When the tears stopped working. That's when consequences finally began to land. People think revenge has to be loud, yelling, public humiliation, some dramatic gotcha moment. That's not how this played out. This was quieter, slower, and somehow, worse. Mid-December, I hired a lawyer. Her name was Diane Keller, late 50s, calm voice, eyes that missed nothing. I slid the envelope across her desk. She didn't react, just flipped through the pages carefully. Screenshots, bank statements, photos. After a minute, she looked up. "You did the right thing by leaving," she said, "and the smartest thing by not engaging." I asked her what my options were. She leaned back. "You don't need to do anything," she said. "You just need to protect yourself." She told me to close the joint account immediately. Move my money. Document everything. Save every message. People who cheat lie, she added. And people who lie panic when control slips. She was right. The first crack. The day I closed the joint account, Melissa called me 17 times. Different numbers. Blocked. Emails. Blocked. Then messages through mutual friends. Then silence. A week later, I heard the first rumor. Apparently, Melissa had been showing up to work late, missing deadlines, crying in conference rooms. Jason, the man she risked everything for, was suddenly distant, cold. Claire told me later that he panicked when he realized the affair wasn't secret anymore. At work, people talk. And tech startups, they feed on gossip. Mid-January, another rumor surfaced. HR got involved. Someone had anonymously submitted screenshots. I didn't ask who. I didn't need to. Company policies don't care about romance. They care about liability. A creative director sleeping with a subordinate, that's not a love story. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Jason was let go quietly. No announcement. No farewell post. Just, gone. Melissa quit a week later. Personal reasons, according to LinkedIn. Translation: she couldn't walk through that office anymore without feeling eyes on her. Without knowing who knew. Without wondering who judged her. The man she chose was gone. The man she betrayed was unreachable. And for the first time in months, she was alone. On New Year's Eve, I got a message request on Instagram. From Jason. "I know you probably hate me." He wrote an apology. Took responsibility. Called it a mistake. Said Melissa loved me. Asked me to forgive her. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I blocked him. No reply. No rage. Nothing hurts more than irrelevance. Late January, I ran into Kim again. She looked exhausted. "She's not doing well," she said softly. "Therapy. Barely leaves the apartment." I took a sip of my coffee. "That's not my responsibility." Kim nodded. "I know. I just wanted you to know the truth finally caught up." It had. And I hadn't lifted a finger. In February, I sold the engagement ring. Free jewelers. 30% loss. Didn't matter. I used the money to book a solo trip to Colorado. Mountains. Cold air. Silence. Places where things are honest. The apartment lease ended in April. Melissa agreed to let me buy her out. Diane handled everything. No conversation. No closure talk. No one last chance. When it was done, Diane said something interesting. She sounded relieved. That stuck with me. Relieved. Like even she knew it was over long before I did. Here's the truth no one likes to admit. The most devastating revenge isn't punishment. It's removal. I didn't argue. Didn't plead. Didn't negotiate. I walked away with my dignity intact. And everyone else had to sit with what they did. Melissa lost her job, her reputation, her future plans. Jason lost his career momentum. I lost 4 years. But I didn't lose myself. People assume that once the chaos ends, everything suddenly feels better. It doesn't. The noise stops. But the silence that follows is heavy. By March, my life looked fine on the outside. New apartment. New routine. No more late-night phone calls or emotional ambushes. But inside, I was still carrying something sharp. Not anger exactly. Something duller. Heavier. I started therapy around that time. A guy named Dr. Samuel Reeves, betrayal trauma specialist. First session, he asked a question I wasn't ready for. "What hurts more," he said, "losing her, or losing who you thought you were?" I didn't answer right away. Because the truth was uncomfortable. I didn't just lose a partner. I lost certainty. The belief that if you do everything right, things work out. That love is safe if you're loyal enough. That effort guarantees security. Betrayal doesn't just break trust in someone else. It fractures trust in your own judgment. Once you're out of it, the memories replay differently, clearer, sharper. The way she started putting her phone face down in July. The new perfume she suddenly found. The gym membership she renewed after letting it lapse for a year. The Thursdays. Always Thursdays. I used to tell myself I was being mature, supportive, understanding. In reality, I was overriding my instincts because love taught me to doubt myself. Dr. Reeves said something that stuck. People don't miss red flags. They talk themselves out of them. That hurt. Because it was true. People kept asking me if I'd forgiven her. Friends, family, even strangers online after the story spread. Forgiveness gets romanticized, like it's a finish line. But healing doesn't require forgiveness. It requires acceptance. I accepted that what happened was real, that it wasn't my fault, that no amount of loyalty can save a relationship where respect is gone. Maybe one day I'll forgive her. Not for her, for myself. But I'm not rushing that. I still have it. The manila envelope. It's in a drawer under old tax documents. I haven't opened it since that night. But knowing it's there matters. Not because I need proof anymore, but because it reminds me, I wasn't crazy. I wasn't paranoid. I didn't overreact. The truth just arrived all at once. In Colorado, I hiked alone. No headphones. No podcasts. Just wind, snow, and breath. There's something grounding about mountains. They don't care about your heartbreak. They just exist. And standing there, I realized something unexpected. I wasn't grieving her anymore. I was grieving the future I imagined. The house. The wedding. The life that never actually existed. Once I let that go, the weight lifted. Just a little. Who I am now. I'm not bitter. But I am different. More cautious. More selective. Less willing to explain away discomfort just to keep the peace. Tyler says I smile more now than I did in December. I think he's right. Not because I'm happier, but because I'm more honest with myself. I know what I deserve. And I know what I won't tolerate again. Melissa and I haven't spoken since December. I don't know where she's living. I don't ask. I hope she figures herself out. But she's no longer part of my story. And that's the real ending. Not revenge. Not punishment. Freedom. Betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes it comes from the person holding your hand. And the strongest response isn't anger. It's walking away without begging someone to choose you. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever been blindsided by someone you trusted, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. What's the hardest lesson betrayal ever taught you? And remember, walking away isn't weakness. Sometimes, it's the most powerful thing you can do.